At a recent New Hanover County School Board meeting, a member of the right-wing group, the Proud Boys, gets into a verbal altercation with a member of the public regarding a policy about transgender middle school athletes.
Now, the Proud Boys group has shown up at several school board meetings wearing their uniforms, masks, and other items too.
Some people have complained about being intimidated by the group's actions. Our media partner, WHQR, reported about a law still on the books in North Carolina. The law states it is illegal for anyone to wear a mask on government property with the sole intent to hide their identity. WHQR's news director, Ben Shockman, broke the story of New Hanover County Sheriff Ed McMahon asking District Attorney Ben David for guidance on how to handle the masked members of the Proud Boys group.
David wrote to McMahon about this 70-year-old state law and his interpretation that if the law enforcement suspects an individual is wearing the mask just to hide their identity, they can ask the person to remove the mask to be identified. I asked Ben Shopman today about the other details in the sheriff's letter from the district attorney.
It makes a couple of points, which I think are all important. The first is that the law is still on the books, still applies, and has never been repealed. It's very much in full effect. The second point is that wearing the mask is the crime. You don't have to wear the mask and then commit a subsequent crime, which is something we had heard from sheriff's deputies in the past. So they do not have to wait for a Proud Boy or any other person who's masked to assault someone or have a weapon or anything else like that. It is the wearing of the mask to conceal your identity that is the crime.
The sheriff's office and the sheriff himself, through his spokesperson to you, Lieutenant Jerry Brewer, said at this point they don't have plans to ask the members of the Proud Boys, or I would think, by the spirit of what he said, any other group that would wear a mask specifically to conceal one's identity.
Yes, the sheriff's office point of view, as expressed by Lieutenant Brewer, is still that they do not want to get into an argument with the Proud Boys about the intentionality behind the mask. And the only thing I can say about that is that Ben David's letter does address this a little bit in saying you can basically take a broader view of this. You don't have to take someone's word for it if they say, I am wearing this gaiter for public health reasons. You can take into account that they have told various media outlets that the only reason they wear masks is because they are concerned about left-wing activists review bombing their businesses or coming to their houses or harassing them in some way. They've been very clear that the mask is solely for the purpose of concealing their identity, which is the very thing the law identifies as being illegal.
Now, as you heard, Ben Shopman's information came from the spokesperson for the New Hanover County Sheriff's Office, Lieutenant Jerry Brewer. But, Fran, you actually talked to the sheriff himself about this same issue today.
I did, John, and we had a pretty lengthy conversation. He has reiterated what was revealed in the WHQR report. Sheriff McMahon says he has no intentions of enforcing the law. The sheriff acknowledges the 70-year-old law, but says the pandemic created an exception to the rule allowing people to wear a mask. He says his deputies are not going to pick and choose which masks are acceptable and which ones are not. Sheriff McMahon says, and I'm quoting here, since the exemption for the wearing of masks, I have not differentiated in what type of mask someone wears, and I'm not going to start now. He went on to say, we have ways to identify people. If I need to identify someone, I will have them remove their mask for identification purposes.
Now, at the forefront of all this is the group we talked about at the top of the newscast, the Proud Boys. The far-right group attends and has attended several school board meetings with most of their faces covered by those masks.
So, John, I reached out to school board member Stephanie Crable, and she sent us a message. She believes the law should be enforced and wants the entire board to address the issue as soon as possible. Here's the statement she sent to WECT. She says, and I'm quoting, I have asked for this matter to be placed on the agenda for the February 28, 2023 agenda review meeting, which in turn determines what is actually discussed at the March regular board meeting on March 7th, 2023. Both meetings are open meetings and will be held at the Board of Education Center.
Now, you can read more about this law and the report in their entirety right now on the WECT News app